Trying again. Ah, and now it's in the wrong side. Ugh, of course. It did have an update, which is why it disappeared on us. Usually before I start the game, I always check my add-ons to make sure they're up to date, and I just plain simply forgot this time. There's that. I'm gonna go this way. I should have brand new Writs as well. I don't know where the crafting district is. It's like over this way. Wait, well, this is where we deliver it. It's over this way. I do.
Come, have a drink with me.
I don't want to, but I'm trying to find the Writs.
What's that? You're choking? Too bad, you little baby. Finish that pie.
Where are the Writs?
Is this odd straight?
Come on, help us out here. We have deadlines to meet.
Wait.
You know the rules. No one's allowed inside without authorization. And I don't see your paperwork.
I don't believe this. I'm not leaving until you let us in.
Board 1. And board 2 is down here.
Red diamond, the heart and soul of man. Red diamond, red diamond.
Smite with dragon claws. We are dragon knights, we are dragons. If you attack us, you will meet talons. If you strike us, you will eat spikes. If you injure us, our wounds will close. If you anger us, you will burn. If you run from us, we will pounce upon you. You cannot win. We cannot lose. We are dragon knights. We are dragons. I'm pretty sure I didn't read that. My other character might have, but bow increased to 6. Alice tried to keep her footing, holding an arrow knocked as the shadows warped around her. Low, moaning sounds echoed between the trees, and the moon's light dripped down, pooling on leaves underfoot. Where was the trail? She tried to slow her breathing, searching for a recognizable
Very
landmark.
nice. Good to settle my old bones for a bit.
But the woods she hunted in every night had changed. They were wilder. The trees were thicker and taller. Unknown beasts cried out all around her. There was no sign of her worn hunting trail, nothing to lead her back home. The moons loomed overhead, ominous and huge in the damp autumn air. The world heaved, and Alice was in the clearing. A form adorned with a hideous antlered mask stared at her, towering over a stained stone altar. Its wicked teeth gleamed in the bloody glow of Mazur. Forms gathered at the tree's edge, scattering every time she tried to fix her eyes on them. The figure reached forward, and an assortment of weapons faded in distance from the altar. A loathsome spear, 2 serrated daggers, and a black bow. She was drawn forward, compelled to approach. The figure gestured towards the weapons before her, but she shook her head and clutched her own bow even tighter, unwilling to reach out. A deranged cackle rang through her head. The world heaved again under her feet. The clearing was gone. Regaining her footing, Alice glanced over her shoulder and saw forms wreathing in the dark foliage, a jumble of gleaming eyes, moonlight on slivering maws, the howls of beasts and riders. A low horn blasted and the wood vibrated, rattling her teeth, and the darkness behind her surged. She ran. Arrows sailed past her as she sprinted. A spear flew over her shoulder. They were gaining. She could hear their mad scrambling draw closer, but didn't dare look back. Desperate, she leaped high, reaching out for a tree limb. She pulled herself up just as a set of jagged teeth closed on the air where she was only seconds before. Wasting no time, she turned, readied an arrow, and let it fly, relieved to hear a howl of pain from the beast below. She targeted another and another, but more arrived, howling and yipping. The creatures and their riders encircled the base of Alice's refuge. She clambered upward into thick branches that offered her cover, but she couldn't lean out far enough to take an aim. She was trapped. There was one hope. The branches in the canopy were entwined and dense. If she could jump far enough to reach a sturdy branch, she might be able to keep moving. Just as she stretched out to test a nearby limb, she slipped, and as her roost shook violently. Struggling to keep her grip, she looked down to see a mass of thick black fur and shining teeth ram into the base of the boil with its hulking shoulder. Its rider, an antlered hunter, pointed its foul spear just as her trunk toppled. She crashed to the ground, grasping at branches and twisting as she tumbled through the gnarled limbs. There was a sickening crack as she landed. She recovered her bow and struggled to stand, falling forward as the pain shot up her leg. The monster raced toward her, panting with anticipation. There was no escape. Her instincts took hold, and she aimed and shot quickly. Before the first arrow even found its mark, she shot at the rider again and again. A howl of rage echoed in her mind, and she closed her eyes, waiting for the rending jaws to close on her. The pain didn't come, and when she opened her eyes, she knew where she was. She could see the stars glimmering through the sparse canopy, saw the torches at her shack in the valley far below. Wincing, she fashioned a rough splint for her leg and reached out for her bow. On its upper limb, inlaid in shimmering red, the outline of a pair of small antlers glistened. It was all a test.
Indians sing praises of his name. The plain melodies now. The plain melodies as we open
Always the problem when you're in a new location, you gotta learn where everything is. Carpentry over here.
Is it true? Enodoc came back from the dead, and you killed him again? Fantastic.
The strange occurrences continue. Items have moved around mysteriously or even disappeared completely in some cases, and now the forest itself seems to have turned against us. Maybe the stories we heard are true. Maybe this part of the forest really is haunted. If you can send someone to help us, preferably someone with experience in fighting strange creatures and investigating unusual events, I'd really appreciate it. Or if you're feeling adventurous, why don't you come and check on the camp yourself? You might find the experience to be illuminating. That's where the Thieves Guild is.
Welcome to Win.
I forbid it, young lady. No daughter of mine is going to be courted by a Nord stable boy.
Now, who's got their drink?
Mother, but I'm bored.
You?
There hasn't been anyone to flirt with except Rama since we reached these wretched shores. This is never going to end, is it?
Gold Leaf Acquisitions, Manager's Notes.
What was your intent with the flavor profile there? May have room for improvement.
The Connolinker, I've already forgot how to say it, and I just did it last night, is such a name that could be given to a celebration of a false king. The Stormfist clan participates in this farce so I can deliver my lord's message to the cursed Joran. And so I can see his face as the realization sinks in like a dagger in his heart. While I would normally find cheating unacceptable, these games have no honor. We must act quickly. I have hidden caches throughout the city. Members of the clan can use the contents against the other competitors. The other competitors. There are 4 caches hidden where our clan brothers and sisters can find them. I have recorded their locations in the following verse. Between a moon that's cold and a wizard's horn, behind a cracked henge stone, west and breezy, at the rear of Windhelm's only abstaining Norn, where mountain mare rests calm and easy. That was easy. Use this instead of the shoulder knife. The dull shoulder knife they provide is useless against armor. This blade will cut through chain and plate. Use this blade when the fighting gets close, but don't let anyone get a good look at it. Winning is important. I needed to make it to the final competition.
I don't know why I bother guarding you horrible people.
The tracker's competition requires an arrow doused with animal musk that is loosed into the woods. The competitors then attempt to track the arrow by watching the movements of animals attracted to the scent. Use this bow to loose a noisemaker arrow with a string attached that follows the same path as the first arrow. The noise will spook the animals and make tracking them unreliable, but the string will lead our competitor to the prize. This is a difficult contest to manipulate, so we have our best tracker in the competition, just to be safe.
I sometimes wonder what becomes of government efforts.
Set this incense upwind of the competition so that the faint smoke it creates flows towards them. The harshness of the smoke will sting their eyes and make it difficult to aim. Our competitor has special drops to protect her eyes and should be unaffected. In the end, another win for the Stormfist clan.
I'm not sure about that. The Nord woman from Lightline looks like she can hold my lead.
Sip this poison into the kegs before your stint in the contest begins. The substance has no taste and its effects manifest fairly quickly. It will make the drinkers appear to have weak constitutions. Make sure you consume the antidote before you start drinking, and everything should work out fine. Before I go talk to that thing. something here.
If they were serving 100-year-old Flynn, I'd enter this contest in a heartbeat.
Maybe I'll see you later at the Sober Nord?
I prefer the Cold Moon Inn to the Sober Nord. It's much more rustic.
Wandered off and finished my Rits real quick. I don't know if it's Rits or Rights. Oh. There's so many things I don't know. Okay. Hang on.
They're running low on mead. I wonder what happened to that ship.
I think I'm going to be ill.
You've been gone for a while. Tell me you found something useful.
And I found these notes and weapon cache hidden around the city.
Cheating at the Conanliker and the Stormfist clan. They haven't caused this much trouble since... Oh no. This is worse than I feared. We need to determine what's really going on here. While you were completing your mission, another competitor was injured. One of my best. The champion of Windhelm. This just got personal. I have another task for you if you're willing.
Sure, what do you need me to do?
I want you to enter the next event, the Foot Race of the Nine Holds. I name you Windhelm's new champion. That should confuse our enemies. If you're willing, go talk to the race organizer Lenning. He's along the western wall.
Sure, I'll go speak to him.
Hurry! Speak to Lenning the Hawk and enter the race.
What do you want?
Good find, cohort.
Hi, Mr. Giant.
Refreshing. Take it in. An opportunity for learning.
How I miss you and everyone in Lower Yorgim. How are things at the village? And Father? He hasn't written, and I'm worried about him. Of course you want to hear about Shadastala. This place is amazing. I'm meeting so many people from different parts of the world. Every day is exciting and new, and the things I'm learning. I can't wait to show you the spells I've mastered. Can you believe it? From Lower Yorgrim to an important position in the Pact. Sometimes I think I'm just dreaming. Oh, and write to me soon. I miss you so. Aww.
Fortuitous.
The Amulet of Kings. Do I want to read this? Sure. In the first years of the First Era, a powerful race of elves called the Aelids, or the Heartland High Elves, ruled central Tamriel with an iron hand. The high and haughty Aelids relied on their patrons, the treacherous Daedra lords, to provide armies of Daedra and dead spirits. With these fearless magical armies, the Aelids preyed without mercy upon the young races of men, slaughtering or enslaving them at their whim. On behalf of the suffering human races, Saint Alicia, the first in the line of Cyrodiils, sought the aid of Akatosh, the dragon god of time, and ruler of the noble Aedra. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart, blessed Saint Alicia with this blood of dragons, and made a covenant. So long as Alicia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion and deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Aelids. In token of the covenant, Akatosh gave to Alicia and her descendants the Amulet of Kings and the eternal dragon fires of the Imperial City. Thus does Alicia become the first gem of the Cyrodiilic Amulet of Kings. The gem is the red diamond in the middle of the amulet. This is the symbol of the Empire, surrounded by 8 other gems, 1 for each of the divines. So long as the Empire shall maintain its worship of Akatosh and his kin, and so long as Alicia's heirs shall bear the Amulet of Kings, Akatosh and his divine kin maintain a strong barrier between Tamriel and oblivion, so that mortal men need never again fear the devastating summoned hosts of the Daedric lords. If the Empire shall slacken in its dedication to the 8 divines, or its blood of Alicia, a hair should fail, then shall the barriers between Tamriel and the Daedric realms fall, and Daedra worshippers might summon lesser Daedra and undead spirits to trouble the races of men. Alright. I am trying to find it's over here and dodge trolls and wolves.
Greetings. What brings you to my pier in the middle of this disaster?
I'm looking for pickled fish.
Sure, Bones. What with the giant attack and all, I completely forgot about all that. My sincerest apologies. Here you go.
What happened here?
Haven't you heard? Giants attacked Lower Yorgrim. Go speak to Araki in the tavern over there if you want more information.
I'm surprised you can spare the fish.
It's pickled fish. No one actually eats this stuff. It's more of a tradition than a food group. I've even seen a starving horker refuse to eat these stinky fish. It might be good for keeping the wolves away, though.
I like pickled fish, though.
My poor village. My heart weeps. Lower Yorgrim is dying. We have nothing left to offer you. I suggest you look for somewhere safer to rest this night.
What happened here?
Giants attacked our village. Many villagers died in Lower Yorgrim at the hands of these degenerate giants. I gathered the few survivors I could find and fled to this fishing camp.
Why would the giants attack Lower Yorgrim?
I don't know. This is the first time the giants have ventured this close to the village, and the first time they've attacked us. My brother Scorfield is assembling a force of warriors to drive off the giants. You should speak to my brother.
I'll speak to him.
My brother Scorfield and his warriors gather in a house north of here. I'm sure he'd appreciate any help you could provide.
The giants haven't attacked the village before?
We sometimes hear about attacks against lone travelers, but the giants mostly keep to themselves. I've never heard of them attacking a settlement before.
Something must have angered the giants.
These are troubled times for East March. We hear that the orcs grow more and more aggressive, and there are rumors that disenfranchised Nord clans plan to start a civil war. Anything could have provoked the giants.
Tell me about your brother.
Scorfield? Well, my brother is a leader in our community and a great supporter of the Skald King. He can be a little intense, though, and some people find that a bit disturbing. But he loves Lower Yorgrim and wants to set things right.
Not why I'm here. I really need to go back to town and work on that. Go back to that. I'll come back, people. I'll come back to save you, I promise. He did a really good job keeping faithful to the Skyrim. This building existed just like that. Can't remember what the time frame is. I think this is a prelude to Skyrim, and I think it's like 500 years or 300 years.
Keep your eyes open for a good tea shop. Always happy to try a new blend.
Something along that line. While I'm running here. So, for the longest time, I didn't think Elder Scrolls Online was considered canon. I thought it was a great MMO that was based on the lore, but was kind of doing its own thing, but based in the realm. Well, according to everything, it is canon, which is slightly problematic because it just is for many in-depth reasons. All right.
If you're not participating in the race of the 9 holds, please stand back.
I'm the new champion of Windhelm.
I see. Thane Mara is playing her political games again. No matter. As the last racer to arrive, you get to light the starting flare. Get ready. The race begins as soon as you ignite the flare.
What are the rules of the race?
Rules? Haven't you ever ran a race before? You have to run along the outer walls of the city and must pass through each of the 9 towers along the walls. 1 for each hold in Skyrim. The first racer to pass through the 9th tower wins the event.
Okay.
Another dose of the cure.
Thanks. It's the rare soul who stops to help an opponent.
What happened to you?
Treachery. An orcish arrow. Poisoned. I drank a potion, but it didn't help. I'm finished.
I can help you.
It's too late for me. You need to listen. I saw where the assassin fled. To the south, away from the city. They must be hiding nearby. Avenge me, champion. Avenge!
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude. Alright.
What is it? Wait. Yay!
What happened to you? You were doing so well. Why'd you stop running?
One of the racers was murdered.
Another murder? In broad daylight? Thane Mara just left and she wants to speak to you. And she needs to hear about this anyway. Hurry and meet her in front of the palace.
I'll do that.
Perhaps we can complete a writ or two on our downtime.
Interesting. Okay, I think it's the same episode for you guys. I had to leave a little early because I needed to start cooking dinner, but I'm back.
Come on, help us out.
What a race! I saw some of it, and I was informed of the outcome. I have eyes throughout the city, of course.
Hadring was attacked during the race. I had a chance to speak before he died.
Another blasted attack. You showed compassion, abandoning the race to aid another. Empathy is worth as much as strength, in my opinion. Now about Hadring. We need to find his killers and bring them to justice. Someone must have seen something during the race. The assassins fled after their cowardly attack, but every rat has a hole to hide in. You must find that hole.
I'll go find him.
I don't want you to just find the assassins. I want you to hunt them down like the rabid dogs they are and dispatch them with haste and extreme prejudice. Do we understand each other, champion?
I understand perfectly.
I'm taking the gauntlets off and granting you the authority to do whatever is necessary to deal with these assassins. I name you as Justice Carl of Windhelm. Dispense your authority as needed, and deal with this as quickly as you can.
Hagrid told me that where the assassin went before he died.
Well done. I'll mobilize the guard to prevent any more Stormfists from getting into the city. Go south and find the assassins. Bring me back something I can show to King Yorin to let him know we've taken care of this problem.
It's no wonder the palace is still a wreck.
Selling, buying, trading. Right here.
Let's not have any trouble.
Letter from Ragna. Life at Dag Forest never gets dull. In my previous letter, I told you all about the Dremora that replaced poor General Redoran. Well, now I'm practically running this place. This Gold King continues to send me specific agendas to promote and messages to deliver, but Captain Donnernill has turned to me to help get the fort back in working order. Maybe things will slow down once a new general is assigned, but then I can come home for a visit. When was the last time I was in Eastmart? Do you even remember? Because I don't. I so wanted to get back for the Kunnaleaker, but that just isn't possible. Will you be participating in any of the games? Used to be fairly decent at archery, if I remember correctly. And flirting with visitors to the city. Is that still an event you can sign up for? I'm just kidding, little sister. Well, time to get back to work. I have troops to inspect and all that. Give my best to Mother and Father, Ragna. It's kind of, I guess I never noticed my first playthrough, but my first playthrough, I was really bad at reading the notes, like actually reading them and taking them in. That is such a callback to the earlier maps. I like it. I like it. Oh, a lag. Blag. Oh. How very Skyrim-y that I am slaughtering their friends right next to him. I did. After the supposed theft of an Elder Scroll from the Imperial Library, I endeavored to find any sort of index or catalog of the scrolls in our possession, so that such situations may be avoided, or at least properly verified, in the future. To my dismay, I discovered that the Moth Priests were notoriously inept when it comes to the actual physical manifestations of the scrolls, and I had no idea how many they held, or how they were organized. Merely asking the questions evoked chuckles, as if a child was asking why dogs cannot talk. I will confess my jealousy of the ones who can read the scrolls grow, but I'm not yet willing to sacrifice my sight to alleged knowledge. The older Moth Priests I attempt to engage in conversation seem as batty as any other elder who have lost their minds. I fail to see what wisdom is imparted from the reading. In any case, I set out to create my own index of the Elder Scrolls in cooperation with the monks. Day by day, we went through the tower halls with them telling me the general nature of each Elder Scroll so that I might record its location. Always careful never to glimpse the writings myself, I had only their word to go on. I meticulously drew out a map of the chambers where scrolls related to various specific prophecies were located, where particular periods of history were housed. In all, it took nearly a year of plotting, but at last I had rough notes on the entirety of the library to begin my collation. And it was here that things began to go amiss. In studying my notes, I found many areas overlap or outright contradiction. In some cases, different monks would claim the same scroll to be at the opposite ends of the tower. I know they have no taste for jesting, or else I would have suspected I was being made the fool in some game of theirs. I spoke to one of the older monks to relate my concerns, and he hung his head in sorrow for my wasted time. Did I not tell you, he coughed, when you started this, that all the efforts would be futile? The scrolls do not exist in countable form. I thought you meant there were too many to be counted. There are, but that is not the least of their complexities. Turn to the repository behind you and tell me how many scrolls are locked therein. I ran my fingers over the metal casings, tallying each rounded edge that they encountered. I turned back. 14, I said. Hand me the 8th one. He said, reaching out his hand. I guided the cylinder into his palm, and he gave the slight nod to acknowledge it. Now, count again. Humoring him, I again passed my hands over the scrolls, but could not believe what I was feeling. Now, there are 18. The old man chuckled, his cheeks pushing up his blindfold until it folded over itself. And in fact, there always were. It was then that I enrolled as the oldest novice accepted into... It was then I was enrolled as the oldest novice ever accepted into the cult of the Ancestor Moth. I actually really liked that idea. Gotta do that again. Sorry, I spawned back really fast.
The Stormfist Brigade continues to make me proud. I knew you'd be able to make it to the final contest. You'll be close enough to touch my weakling brother. Just as we planned, I deliver my message to Joran. Look into his eyes as you perform your deed. My brother will be protected, but you are stronger than the cowards guarding him. Kill them all and return to me. I want these. Okay. I'm really close. I'm gonna grab this one. From old life to new. Why is the new life, Harold, so scary? When my littlest asked this of me during a New Life festival, I laughed. I had once asked the very same question of my own and he said, come the fall, you should ask your nan. To understand this answer, we must look to our old life festival, which we would hold as the days grow short and the fields lie fallow. During this time, we bring forth dark tales and unsettling songs. The unknown passenger tells of a cloaked figure on a ship who none of the other travelers recall boarding. The last fawn in the woods learns a stalking wolf killed its mother and wears her skin, but it's in haste to flee to take shelter in the wolf's den. The midnight lodger rents a room in the dead of night, but vanishes before morning, along with the innkeeper's child. We tell these tales as the nights stretch long. Every race has variations, but there are common themes across Tamriel. Danger in the darkness, threat to the innocent or the young, a creature that slips its way in amongst its relative safety of earth. But the wolf that carved the sky is the one that still makes me shiver. No matter how high the fire burns, as my nan told it to all the village's children one long night ago. A great wolf with burning eyes once stalked the land at night. Its endless hunger drove it across the land where it feasted on the volcanoes of Morrowind. Drank Iliac Bay dry enough to form the liquor desert. Drank the Iliac Bay dry enough to form the Iliac Bay dry enough to form the desert and used the great trees of Valenwood to pick its teeth. But the wolf could not be sated, no matter how much it ate or drank. It wanted more and more and more. And one night the wolf saw the two moons dancing through the sky. Mazur, the bigger one, laughed and carried on. Secunda, the smaller one, followed Mazur's lead. Be quiet, snarled the wolf, or I'll pull you from the sky, and then I'll crack you open and devour everything inside, like Iliad cities. He'll never be able to reach us, taunted Mazur. Reach us, echoed Secunda. Oh, snarled the wolf, I will leap from the highest mountain until I reach the sky. Then I will stand astride two little moons, gnashing and tearing, until there are moons no more. But everyone will notice if one of us is missing, cried Mazur. One of us is missing, echoed Secunda. I will change my skin to match your own, snarled the wolf. My burning eyes will shine in your place. None will know the difference. The sun will know we aren't what we seem, cried Mazur. We aren't what we seem, echoed Secunda. Then I shall make a meal of the sun, snarled the wolf, and after I'll consume all the stars. You can't do this to us. Do this to us, echoed Secunda. But I can, snarled the wolf, and when I have gorged myself on the sky, when there is nothing left but darkness, I will stand astride the world and howl. And as my nan leaned forward, fingers extended like claws, a figure with a wolf's head burst into the room and howled. All the children shrieked, and then the candles blew out. I remember shivering in the darkness, trying not to make a sound. It seemed like forever, but it was likely a dozen heartbeats. A soft light emerged from a lantern, held aloft by my nan. I faced the figure with the wolf's head and said, Not yet, wolf. The sun's light is too rich a meal. It will consume you instead. Then I shall wait till the sun is weakest, snarled the skin changer. On that day I shall swallow it whole. You can try, said my nan, her voice firm, but the sun may have other ideas. And with that the lantern flared, The skin changer howled in pain and fled from the room. And for a few moments there was silence. And then my Nan spoke. Never forget the danger in the darkness. It can slip into your mist and drag you into night, but light at its dimmest is the old life passing behind us. Soon there will be new life, and the sun shall herald its arrival. A good number of weeks passed. The New Life Festival began. I remember assembling in the square just before noon, and I remember children screaming as the wolfman walked boldly toward us. But we stopped when he pulled the wolf's head from his shoulders, revealing a person beneath. It was my own Da. He wasn't a wolfman at all. And in the light of the noonday sun, he was just a person in a costume. The bear claws and the snarling, stylized faces worked into his garb seemed almost as ridiculous by the light of day. He smiled and told us the light of the sun had filled him with hope, and he would be our new life herald for the festival. So years later, when my littlest asked me why the New Life Herald was so scary, I laughed. Come the fall, you should ask your Nan. That's actually a really sweet story, to be honest. To the city we go. Well, the books that I haven't read, or I don't know how it's working, because I don't remember that story at all. I know I haven't read it.
Good find, cohort.
I don't quite know what I'm going to do.
Ah, spiffing! More coin for your purse.
I'm not exactly excited about the fact that I'm going to have to really pay attention to what books I've read and what I haven't.
Never mind. I'll have what I'm having. I don't believe this. I'm not leaving until you let us in.
Old Huring's been spreading. The guards found more caches of weapons hidden around the city, but nothing else. I hope you had better luck. The guards found more caches of weapons hidden around the city, but nothing else. I hope you had better luck.
I found a camp outside the city. You should see these.
King Yoren's exiled brother Fieldgore used to run the Stormfist Brigade. That's his symbol added to the Stormfist emblem. And these orders. Fieldgore has returned to Skyrim. King Yoren must be told. Hopefully it's not too late. Fieldgore is King Yoren's twin brother. When Queen Nirnhill fell in battle, the brothers joined forces to defeat the Akaviri, but then they fought over the throne. Yoren won the day and exiled his brother. Now Fieldgore has returned.
What does Fieldgore want?
What does any exile want? Needless to say, to announce his presence in this manor can't bode well for King Yoren. The final event has started in the Hall of Trials. I'll send guards to the camp. You need to go to the hall and help the king.
Go protect him.
Hurry! To the Hall of Trials! You must protect King Yoren at all costs!
Come on, help us out here. We have deadlines to meet.
You know the rules. No one's allowed inside without authorization.
Am I drunk or is it...
Beneath Morrowind's soil, we hunted.
Ah, anything interesting?
I know it's like time is sensitive, but I kill.
Your prowess is impressive, champion. Come up here so that...
The Stormfist cheated. These Nords have been poisoned.
Your brother Filgor sends his greetings, false king. He wants you to know that he has returned from exile to claim what is his by birth and by right. Your rule is over, pretender. Prepare to die.
Poison, Filgor. What is the meaning of this? Guard! Seize that woman!
For Filgor! For the rightful king of Skyrim! Show no mercy!
I know that voice is that actor's voice. I just don't know who it is.
Stormfist bastards did their worst, yet I'm still alive! Thanks to you.
I knew that voice.
This was my brother. One I wasn't meant to serve. A mere scratch. Nothing more. The Stormfist clan's assassins are dead, and that's good enough for me. I guess I've become too complacent, while Filgor's hatred has obviously deepened and festered.
Your brother hates you?
After dear Nirnhild fell in battle, my brother and I threw back the invaders. Afterward, we disagreed on who should succeed our sister. I believed in diplomacy and wisdom. Filgor believes in rule by force. I couldn't let him take the throne.
Why has he returned?
When I won the throne, I was forced to exile Filgor. He never forgave me for that. So I assume he returned to take the throne. I wonder what he has promised his Stormfist and Orc allies. I need to think about this. Please tell Thane Mera that I'm fine.
Here, yes, sir. I pulled some decent voice actors for Elder Scrolls Online, and I don't know why that surprised me so, but it does. I think because when Elder Scrolls first came out, a lot of people were very dismissive of the game, myself included, even though I played a shit ton of it. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't take it as a real Elder Scrolls Online, or a real Elder Scrolls game. I just thought it was a game set in the universe. Which, that's my own fault, right? But again, it's also because continuity on the lore isn't the bestest. Like, there's some places where it goes awry. And I can't think of any off the top of my head where I can give you an exact example, but one of the, I guess, best is probably the timelines are really, like, up for grabs. Yeah, the timelines get a little funky wonky. But I guess someone else had pointed out, I read a forum post, someone else pointed out that that's true of all the Elder Scrolls game. Like, they did a really bad job of keeping it cohesive the whole in all the game. And I'm sure there's probably someone out there with a notebook and a spreadsheet and a pointer going, this is when this was supposed to happen.
What is it?
Ran it because let's see. You're fine. Do quick. Yeah, I did read that. Or I remember. That's pretty cool.
Don't matter what you say. I'll never tell you where the bodies are buried.
Here. No, I understand. If you change your mind, I'll be here.
I never saw you. You never saw me. You get me?
They're all the same. Give a node a helmet and they get all high and
Old
mighty.
Huring's been spreading
It's
tales
no
of how you
wonder the
defeated
palace is still a
Milana.
wreck.
Very impressive. You're back. Tell me, is King Yoren well?
He sent me to tell you that he's fine.
That's good to hear. You don't know how relieved I am by the news. You risked your life even though you had no duty to uphold or vow to keep. To me, that makes you the champion of the day. While you were aiding the king, a runner arrived from Fort Morvenskar. The fort is under attack. Fieldgore and the Stormfist clan are certainly behind the attack. It can't be mere coincidence. Windhelm must be protected, but we can't abandon the fort.
Ogre's launching multiple attacks.
It makes sense strategically, but we weren't prepared for this. We weren't expecting to fight a war while the Pact leaders were in council. I need your help. Captain Hamas sent the runner. Report to him. Find out what's going on at the fort.
Okay, I'll go find him.
You upheld my honor and the honor of Windhelm. This Ebonheart Pact is worth more than I hoped. May all your enemies fall before you.
We're leaving here. You're sending me there, which means I will start doing the quests that you see out and about.
Selling, trading.
Like we're going up this way. I gotta collect our pets. Okay. We're leaving, Xander.
What is it?
Goodness. Mean. Sensitive, don't yell at me.